What was going up, what was going down, and someone can make a million. This is the number one quality to have. No, I don't think so.
Exactly $100.
500 dirhams left for my expenses.
Welcome to Frankly Speaking podcast. I'm Rima Grigorian, founder of Frank AI platform. Today we are hosting Santa Maria Curie. She is experienced 11 years in real estate market. Welcome, Santa Maria. We are very glad to have you with us. It's not just a discussion about money. The money speaks themselves. It's going to be a discussion with a person who has 11 years experience in branded luxury residential properties in Dubai. The person who knows very well how to manage ultra high net worth buyers in luxury segment of Dubai. Welcome, Santa Maria. How are you
Hi,
doing?
Rima. Thank you so much for having me. I'm used to being usually on your place and usually asking the questions because I also have my own podcast, Unto God podcast, also about real estate. And it's such a pleasure to be on this position finally, to be asked questions. So, super excited.
As we are frankly speaking podcast, I want you to tell us, you as a person, when you see $100, you can take it. When you see $100, what behavior you feel it? Because some people, when they look into $100, they will see a lot of value in $100, or they will not see anything.
To be honest, when I look at $100, I see opportunities, but for me, of course, a single $100 does not excite me as much. So for me, when I look at the $100, I'm imagining like stacks of it, and then I get excited about the opportunities and the ways how to make and how to produce this kind of income. So that's what I feel. What about you?
As long as I see $100, I feel myself blessed seeing Benjamin Franklin, such a person everyone loves to see. I would definitely not understand the one who would say, I don't know who is Benjamin Franklin. It means he is not yet the one who is holding $100. And it's not about the amount, it's about the value of $100. If we speak today about $100 in real estate, when was your first $100 which you could make for yourself?
In real estate?
In real estate and in your personal life.
In the life before real
In
estate, you
general,
mean?
yes, out of before real estate.
Yeah. So the first $100 from what I remember earning, I think I was about 16 years old. So I was still in high school. And I had the opportunity to be a translator since I speak many languages. I found a job which required me to be a translator and a representative at a tourism exhibition in Moscow. And funnily enough, my boss, he was from Sharjah. So I was actually helping the Emirates in a way to present themselves. And that was like more than like 15 years ago. So already at that time, I already contributed like a part of my energy and time towards presenting the Emirates. And I didn't know what the future holds and that I would be moving to the UAE after that and living here 11 years and being amazed by this country. So that was my first time earning $100, and it was actually paid to me every day. I was working there 3 days on this exhibition, and every day I was getting $100. So for me,
Exactly $100.
exactly
Okay.
$100. And for
Interesting.
me, that was like a
Oh.
big deal because I was 16 years old. I was thinking, wow, that's so nice. I can go now have some, I don't know, cakes or coffee with my friends, with my girlfriends from high school. So this was the moment.
And in real estate itself?
In real estate, it happened when I was 22 years old. So I first moved here and I was working in a completely different industry. I was working in hospitality. This was the easiest way to enter UAE. And then when I finally made the switch after working 9 months in hospitality, then I started real estate. And The first 2 months, they were quite challenging, of course, as I was completely new and I was starting from scratch, from the cold calls, the emails, the trying to get listings and so on. And the funny thing is that I was new in real estate and the company which I joined was also new in real estate. So we started from three team members. And now, actually, the founder of that company, he also has a development company. And now he has, I think, maybe around 300 people under his arm, under his sleeve. But we started like we were just three people
It was
back
with
then.
your blessed attendee in that company.
I hope
Okay.
so. Yeah, I hope so. I hope
Hmm.
so. I contributed a lot to that company. I was really motivated. I was really interested for it to succeed, to grow.
How long you stay there?
I was there actually 10 years. After the 10 years, I left and I finally opened my own company, Sante Properties. But yeah, back to your question. So after 2 months of working there, I finally closed my first deal. I remember what it was. It was two properties in Town Square by Nashama. And I think the commission that I made, it was around 30,000 dirhams. Back then, our commission slabs, they were less than right now. So it might be not so exciting for the new agents to hear that. However, for me, it was super exciting because before this, I was working in the hospitality industry where my salary was around 2,000 dirhams per month. And with the incentives that I had also from sales, I was making about 5,000, 6,000, which was, I mean, impossible to live with. I would like spend it in the first 2 weeks and then just wait for the next one. But I always knew what I want. I always knew that I'm gonna, no matter what, make it in Dubai. And it's such a beautiful place full of opportunities. Of course, real estate is the number one sector that can give you all of that. So I remember when I closed this first deal and received 30,000 dirhams, which was like the equivalent of maybe half a year of working in the hotel. In Burj Al Arab, by the way, I was working in the seven-star hotel. I was so happy. I was thinking, wow, I just made 6 months worth of my salary. So, of course, it motivated me to keep on going.
Very interesting. Thank you so much. When you did your first $100, you were just having good feeling. What was driving you continuously to do that $100 again and again?
Oh, well, I think from receiving my first commission in real estate, I
I hope it
understood.
was not delayed.
No,
No.
no, it was not delayed.
Yeah.
Actually, it was paid on time. I think even they gave me maybe like an advance payment at that time because I needed money. But it just gave me the confidence that I can do it, that I'm on the right path. It's as if, God and the universe are showing me you are on the right path. Continue to do what you are doing. And so I
A
continued.
lot of real estate brokers, I don't know nowadays, or it's been long time, most probably,
Mm-hmm.
they are all dreaming about selling only penthouses, villas, and
Mm-hmm.
only luxury segment of the market. You have a degree of psychologist, so do you recommend to study them, or there is some other recommendation?
Interesting. I think definitely studying a little bit of psychology, it helps, of course. You don't need to like really go and get a degree, but maybe some basic courses because in any sales, and of course, especially if we're talking about high ticket sales, you need to be a good psychologist. You need to be able to read people, to connect with them, to make them trust you, to also be confident with what you're presenting. So I think yes, but if I think that this is the number one quality to have to be like a successful real estate expert, no, I don't think so. There's a lot of other qualities which are also important.
Can you
Uh,
share with us?
yeah, of course. I think to be a successful real estate expert, first of all, to be an expert in anything, you need to do it like 100 and million times over and over again to be an expert. For example, even if we go and look at someone out of our industry, like, I don't know, a professional athlete, how many times is he doing the same move every day continuously to become an expert at it, to go to the Olympic Games, to be able to win championships, go into competitions, and so on, many, many times. So, right now, the problem that we have in the real estate market is that many people, they go and they, see it as a very like fast business. You go, you make a lot of money, and then you go and you spend, you have this amazing lifestyle, which yes, you do. But in order to become an expert, you need to do it 100,000 of times, like every day, repeatedly, to have meetings, to have calls, to have messages, emails, to do all these things, to master them, and also to master your knowledge about the real estate market, like what was going up, what was going down, what are the trends, what are the best developers. If you want to go and work in the ultra high net worth segment, of course you can do it even from the beginning. I think it's possible, but this depends on the connections that you have. Because usually people, when they enter this segment, they're new in Dubai and they don't really know people here. So this is where my question comes from. Where are you going to get your clients? You also need to think about that because the competition is very high right now in our industry. And you need to be an expert, first of all, not just a broker.
So let's wrap it. Consistency, number one.
Yeah.
Knowledge, I would definitely say it's number one. So the
Yes.
top five: consistency, knowledge.
Determination, positivity, of course, a little bit of luck. And I think positivity is also a very big part of it because in real estate, we only get paid for the deals that we close, not just for the hours that we spend. So we only get paid for the results. So someone can make zero and someone can make 1 million per month. So it all depends on your mindset. Mindset, I think it's also one of the most important things in real estate. You need to believe in yourself, believe in your success, and you need to be able to visualize it like it's happening already and just give it your all.
So number three is victimhood need to be killed. Definitely. By the way, one of the top four reasons why brokers fail in this market is victimhood. There are some people, they don't even know the meaning of that, unfortunately. But yes, it's about the positivity. It's about not to believe in a bad eye or bad energy and
Exactly.
etc. What you are saying is beautiful. I want you to share more deep the secret of Santa Maria, how you entered, how you reached to this segment of luxury properties.
So I remember actually in the beginning of my career, in my first year, yeah, I was maybe selling some studios, but the majority of my deals, it was still like kind of like a mid ticket, I can say, like from 2 to 3, maybe to 5 million. But for me, my highlight at the first year of my career, it was actually selling 3 full floors to a sheikh from Abu Dhabi. And we closed that deal with Imar. It was worth 75 million dirhams.
And now they are going to ask you, how she got Sheikh from Abu Dhabi?
Well, of course,
Yeah.
yeah. This was my first big deal for $75 million, sorry, dirhams. And it happened at the first year. And actually, how I met him, it was through my previous job, which was working in Burj Al Arab on the reception as an administrator. I was networking with a lot of the clients, and I was thinking, I was always thinking, wow, there's so many wealthy people here. I'm sure maybe I need to, I don't know, sell to them something. I don't know what, because at that moment I was selling to them, just the products from the spa that we had there and the procedures like facials and so on. But I was always thinking, there's so many rich people here. Somehow I need to use this. And then when I started real estate, I started reaching out to people who I became kind of like friends with, and he was one of them. So that's how this deal happened.
So the cost of access was being as a receptionist in Burj Al Arab, 7-star hotel. Tomorrow, recruiters of Jumeirah are going to receive a lot of CVs.
Yeah, please send me some commission for promoting. Yeah.
Great. How do you build trust without showing that you build trust with your high-end clients?
How do I build trust with them?
I don't have the psychology degree, but I'm pretty sure that there is some psychology tricks you are using.
I think overall, you just have to be a good person because when you're a good person and when you are like just self-willingly and truthfully you want everyone to win, that's I think when you get the most success. Like there's some people who become successful overnight and then they lose everything because of their greed. They're very greedy. They want to like cut the corners. They want to just make they think that they're making like a better deal cutting off people, but I think that's a very short term thinking that they have. For me, I don't have that. For me, I like to see everyone around me win. And when I see my customers win, when I want that, I really make sure to choose for them the best things, like as if I'm investing myself. And every time when they make a profit, I'm happy as if I made this profit.
Thank you so
And
much.
of
Yeah.
course, this makes them come back, buy more, refer to me their friends, their family members, and so on. And this is not something which I am faking just for the sake of it. It's a part of who I am. I want other people to grow next to me and with my help. And the same thing I have even about my women circle around me. So some women, in Dubai, they are thinking that the only way to become something in this life and to get a some sort of desirable lifestyle that they have, it's through a man. But
They
I
have
don't
to
think
marry
so.
with a sheikh.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I don't
that's the
think
only
so.
mindset.
Yeah, I think this is the wrong mindset. They're kind of lying to themselves. Okay, maybe if it really makes them happy, do it. But in my opinion, I think that women in today's modern world, they should also be empowered. They should believe in themselves. And I'm always preaching for that. So I want everyone around me to win. And I think this is my secret of being successful and people having confidence to trust me.
So, ladies, no need to go and sit in the reception of Burj Al Arab. You have to go and work in Burj Al Arab.
Exactly.
Very interesting. If you had this $100 before, as you said, for you it was a discipline. You wanted more and more such $100.
I can tell you actually.
Yeah. From psychology perspective, how do you feel it nowadays?
So I can tell you what pushed me to want to make a lot of money. For me, it's because I have expensive taste. So I was actually from a family which is like a middle class, but when my parents got divorced, I moved to Moscow and my mom was not really making a lot of money at that time. So I was really suppressing myself from a lot of desires that I had as a teenager, as a young woman. And when I moved to Dubai, I said, that's it. I know I'm going to be rich because I need to be able to afford all the things that I want. And of course, real estate helped me achieve all of these things. So I think from a psychological point of view, what made me become wealthy, it's not saving and not cutting on my cost. It's the contrary. It's the desire that I want all the things that I know that I deserve, but unfortunately at that moment I could not provide them to myself. I was like, I'm determined to go and to get it. So this belief of myself in, what's going to be happening in the future, this is what made me who I am today.
I'm so proud of you. I'm
Thank
really
you.
so proud of you. I do respect every single woman who is chasing for more and more success.
Thank you so much. I remember days when I first started real estate. My salary was 5,000 dirhams. I actually negotiated it with my previous boss because, as you know, the salary of brokers is zero usually.
Zero.
So I negotiated. I told him I need 5,000. I really need 5,000 and so on. And 4,500 from this 5,000, I was paying for rent. I was renting a room in Dubai Marina and I had 500 dirhams left for my expenses. So I remember in the beginning, in the first like 3, 4 months of working in real estate, sometimes I would just like, I don't know, not even have money to buy water. I would like look in my pocket and there's like, I don't know, 10 dirhams left. And I'm thinking, how am I going to survive? But surprisingly, I would always find a way. Either my friends would help or I would go and close a deal. And then once I started closing deals, that's it. I was only going up, 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 up. And at the end of my first year, which is the same year I'm talking about with the struggles, I went and bought a Porsche Cayenne GTS, which I was dreaming about. And I would never even imagine that I could by myself go at 23 years old and buy it. I was so happy, you know? Not even about the car, but about
No, you should be
like in
happy
one
about the
year.
car and proud of yourself about such a car at 23 years old.
Thank you.
Fantastic. So, when exactly you start to feel that you are not the one who is chasing, they are chasing you?
The clients.
Yes.
So I remember you told me that you think that a lot of agents, they just want to, focus on ultra high net worth individuals, on family offices, and just focus on that segment.
Without even having any knowledge
Yes,
about real
yes,
estate.
exactly. So I think it's a minus when they are not expert in this field yet. When they already have expertise, when they already have some deals that they already closed, some clients that they already made money for them, which they have a good relationship with, and so on. I don't think that it's a bad thing to niche out. I think it's actually a good thing because you can really focus on what you are an expert in, and you can really master it, the areas, the buildings, and so on. uh, in my experience, when the clients they started chasing me was when I started actually declining some clients. So I also decided that I want to work only with the people that I want to work with. And by the way, this does not mean only from a certain ticket size. No, it just means from a certain energy level. Because some people, even when they're very rich, they don't have a very open mindset, very rich mindset. They're still poor in their mindset. They go and they can still cut you out of a deal, even if they're going and buying a penthouse for 100 million dirhams. You've seen that, right?
I've seen that.
This is poor rich people, we call them. So with
Stingy,
stingy and
stingy,
yeah,
poor.
poor in the mind. So with these kind of people, I would not work, even if they want to go and invest 100 million. But I know that they're not my clients. We're not going to vibe with them. They're not going to appreciate the services that I'm about to provide, the dedication, the experience, and really my desire to help them and to find them the best deal. They're not going to appreciate that because they just want to save every $100, that you have in your hands. Yeah. So for me, I started saying no to clients who I could filter and I could see that no, something's wrong about them. Like I don't want to work with them. And then on the contrary, the clients who appreciate all the things that I can provide to them, they started coming to me by themselves and through my previous referrals, my previous clients, and so on.
Great. What is the biggest psychological mistakes Dubai investor does, as per your opinion?
Well, there's a lot of different
I believe
clients.
nowadays, with all this situation, I would talk a lot about that, but I want to hear your opinion.
Yeah. Well, since we are in this kind of situation right now, let's talk about this situation. I think a lot of people they're a little bit weak in their mentality and they are very easy to follow the crowd and the big headlines that we see right now, which are all over social media, the news, especially if we're talking about Western news. And unfortunately, these people they don't have critical thinking. They don't understand why is the West social media and the news media, why is it pushing this narrative? It's pushing this narrative because maybe they have some personal benefits from this, to make it seem like Dubai is really like in such a bad period of their time. But for us, we've been already through crisis situations in Dubai. We've been here in COVID. Have you been in COVID also,
In
right?
COVID and before COVID,
Have you
I've
been in
been
the
here
financial crisis?
I've been.
You see, for me, I haven't been in the financial crisis, but I know about it. And I know how fast Dubai recovered, despite that it was like a global thing happening. The same with COVID. We've seen like in 8 to 18 months, Dubai real estate market recovered and the prices didn't just get the same, go to the same level. They went like 50, 60% above what they used to be even before COVID time. So for me personally, as someone who's living here since a long time, I know very well that Dubai is going to recover again. Of course, we've never been in such a situation that we have a conflict, we have, attacks from a neighboring country. However, I'm sure that our amazing government, they have prepared something which is going to impress the whole world once again in how efficient they are in managing every crisis situation, no matter what. Which brings me to the psychology of the people. So there is some people who like to focus on the negative things, and there is some people who like to procrastinate. So, I think you also came across these kind of buyers who always
Procrastinators.
want to buy and
Yeah.
always think, why I did not buy in COVID-19? The prices went down. I should have bought at that time. Why I did not buy at that time? Why I did not buy 5 years ago, and so on.
Shall I buy now on distress deals?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're never gonna buy these kind
Yeah.
of buyers, I think. They're just procrastinating the moment. They just
That
they think that they want to wait for some perfect magical moment, and this magical moment never comes. You know why? Because I think personally that in every market you can find a good deal, and it just depends on your strategy and what you're going to be buying off plan, ready, and so on, which kind of purposes. So right now we see people are dividing into two categories: those who are very nervous, who are panicking, and who are thinking, oh, Dubai is done, Dubai is finished. No, I will not buy right now. I will not do it and not do anything. And by the way, I'm not talking even about the people who are panicking to sell, because I don't really see that a lot. So the panicking people are the ones who are from abroad and they don't want to buy because they think that Dubai is finished, as if right? Like my sellers, most of them, they're holding off and they know what happened after COVID, how fast it recovered, and they don't want to just, sell now for the sake of selling. But on the contrary, we see the people who are very optimistic and who see that there's an opportunity right now.
for sure.
The opportunity is maybe in the secondary market. Maybe there are going to be some good deals coming up, especially for some customers who bought off plan and they have big installments coming up right now. Of course, there will be some situations that they're going to be selling maybe even at a minus, but I think personally, a slight minus, maybe like 10, 15% down. Do not expect like, minus 50% and so on distress. I don't see that happening.
Let's come back to our $100 discussion.
Uh-huh, sure.
Let's say we are not in Dubai and things are going to be so bad to the level that you are staying only with $100 in your wallet. Psychologically, how would you act? What would you do? What would be your first step to move forward?
No, in Dubai.
Okay, in Dubai.
In Dubai.
In Dubai.
Right now, yeah.
Right
If I
now.
lose everything and I have a
Right
hundred
now, you lose everything, you
dollars
have
in
only
my pockets.
$100 in your pocket.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is something that can happen to anyone. So, yeah, of course. For me personally, I'm all about energy and positivity. And if I only have $100 in my pocket, I start immediately feeling myself limited and, poor. So I want to change. The first thing that I would do is to change this perspective. So I would take this $100 and I would go either to some beautiful salon, get my hair done or something, or I would go to an expensive, which is more probably, I would go to an expensive restaurant. I would order some nice meal, a glass of wine, and be surrounded by wealthy people and get inspired by them again and be like, I am not poor. I'm one of them. This is okay. I'm a phoenix bird. We can do it all over again, no matter what. And then on this energy, I would go and start selling again and start thinking which ways I can make money fast. With my experience right now, I can easily make this kind of money. Maybe, I don't know, in a week I can recover.
This is the message to all women who is staying inside, no matter it's real estate industry, business, or whatever, just not to forget about yourself.
I want to just also add something. When I was leaving my first job from the hotel, from the reception, where I was making like around 5,000 with the commission that I had, I was thinking, what if this real estate does not work out? Like, it's very unpredictable. Maybe I will succeed, maybe I will not succeed. And then I thought, well, what? I cannot go and find again very fast another job like this with 5,000 dirhams. Of course I can. But if we don't try, we will never know if we're going to succeed in this or not. So let's go and let's put all of our energy and effort into this and succeed. And the same thing I would do with the $100. I would say, well, I've already done hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars. Why I cannot do it again? Just because I have $100 in my hands? No, I can go and do it again.
You asked me the question if it would be last $100
Yes,
for
what
you.
would you do?
I even cannot imagine that there will be a day for me where I'm gonna stay with $100 after doing all what I've done. I cannot imagine, no. But I would definitely go for some spa to treat myself,
Nice.
as you mentioned. Having 11 years experience in real estate, what do you feel when you see someone like cabin crew coming and next day she close full floor or penthouse or villa on Palm? How do you feel it?
Oh.
After spending 11 years being in
Yeah.
this market?
Okay, I will tell you. Like, first of all, I think like we don't know exactly what this person is going through or what they did prior to that to make this kind of commission or this kind of sale. So I cannot say that I'm like super happy for all of the cabin crews who are entering the market and so on.
With
But
all respect to all cabin
yes,
crews.
of course. With all respect, I'm also from a hospitality, industry background, so it's kind of okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you start. It matters where you're going, I think personally. So for me, if I see some cabin crew who is really serious about real estate and she's really dedicated and she's taking the time not only to make some funny, sexy reels and so on to get some
But
exposure.
the question, unfortunately, wasn't about a good professional cabin crew. It's
Ah,
about this,
I see.
let's call them 18 plus ladies who come suddenly into real estate and they
Yeah.
start to,
But do you think they close penthouses?
they close everything. I don't think I know. And I've seen that personally. And more what make me frustrated
Yeah.
after spending same 11 years being in
Mm-hmm.
this market, after spending all this time investing in knowledge, investing in growing team, company, and
Mm-hmm.
etc., etc., etc. Someone come and tell me, and which industry you are working in? I say I'm from real estate. At least before I was telling I'm from real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, the sound you are from real estate, like for sure
Yeah.
you
Yeah, there's a bad
faced the
image,
same.
of course, about us, especially about being girls, especially about being maybe like good-looking women in real estate. Of course, they have the stigma that you are not an expert, you are just like some, with some weird industry and you don't even have a serious job. It's not a real job. It's just like as if you're covering up for what you're actually like doing.
Frankly speaking,
Yeah, frankly
you
speaking.
did not mention to us that for Sheikh of Abu Dhabi, it was because of your hard work. Other people will look to it and say, just because she is pretty, just because she is lucky, or some other bad stories about you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah, of
Happened,
course,
no?
of course. Like a lot of people were jealous. Yeah, a lot of my colleagues were jealous at that time. They thought like that I got some favoritism and that it was a company lead and that they gave it to me because for my looks or whatever. I understand that frustration, but I think we have to be the women who are breaking these stereotypes. Maybe when they just look at you, maybe when you're dressed normally, not in a business suit, maybe they think you are like not a serious girl and so on. But then when you open your mouth, it's your responsibility to change the perspective of the people that they have about you. And for me, even in my very first year of real estate, I always took it so seriously and so responsibly, so I never had these kind of thoughts coming and targeted directly at me because I was projecting a different image. But for these girls, maybe the image that they have right now, this is the one working for them. And I can imagine the kind of clients who are buying from them. And I think it's a one deal, to be honest. I think it's a one deal, and then in the future, I don't think they're gonna go and buy from them again. You understand what I'm talking about, I think.
And what I believe that nowadays with current situation, market will be clean and our industry will be clean.
Inshallah.
I give you $100. Are you able to answer me on 100-second questions?
Sure, sure.
Please, for you. I know you don't need it.
We always need that extra $100.
Okay, so real estate is too easy to enter.
Yeah, yeah,
Most brokers enter the industry chasing money, not mastery.
of course. $1,000.
Uh, Many clients trust confidence more than knowledge.
Yeah, many, I would say. Yeah, yeah. If you're sounding like confidently, they don't really know what's your background and what do you know. If it's
Unless
new clients, but if it's an experienced client, they will see through your knowledge and they will see that maybe you know less than they know.
unless he's a smart investor. The industry still rewards noise more than professionalism.
No, I don't think so.
A broker who cannot explain their value does not deserve commission.
No, we all deserve commission. We are doing, guys, such a hard work. Like we deserve.
Personal reputation matters more than marketing.
Yeah, for sure. Because marketing, you can be like in everyone's feed, in everyone's social media, but you're just an entertainer. So people they know you, but it's not like okay, you're on top of my mind, and I'm gonna when I want to buy a property, I'm gonna contact you. I don't think so. It's just that when I'm gonna come home and lay on the couch in front of the TV and scroll my Instagram, I will see you and laugh at your videos. But it does not mean that I'm going to trust you with my $100 and more just because you are hyped up. I think so.
Definitely. Education should be mandatory before selling property.
Yes, of course. Education, but I have to say that education alone, you need practice as well. You need to go and perform these services and these, acts like many times to master them. But education, you need it.
Believe me or not, I know personally one broker who is a top performer in one of the company, and when I speak with him I understand that he has
Zero.
zero education.
Yes.
So real estate sometimes is about luck. AI will expose weak brokers.
Yeah, potentially. I think it will. Yeah, because I think all the investors are now consulting with ChatGPT before they buy. So now we have a new enemy, not only the wife's opinion, I don't know, the brother's opinion. Now we have also to compete with the opinion of ChatGPT.
But now they can get opinion from Frank AI GPT.
Exactly, exactly.
Most deals are emotional, not logical.
Yes, yes. From my practice, I think so, yes. Unless
Definitely.
it's a very big institutional investment, like some investment fund and so on. Of course, those people they care about the numbers, but even with members of family offices, which I've done plenty of deals with, they buy based on emotion as well. They like it or they don't like it.
Either you let him buy now or later he will be a procrastinator.
Yes.
And the last question, my favorite one. Many agents focus on closing deals instead of solving problems.
Yes, of course. I think it's true. And I think to be in this industry in the long run, they need to reframe their mindset. They need to be able to solve the problems. And then this client is going to be locked in with them forever.
Thank you so much, Santa.
Thank you so much.
Frankly speaking, it was a very sweet conversation with such a powerful woman in this industry.
Thank you.
Very glad to have you with us.
Thank you so much. I'm also very happy and great that we did and we had this talk. Hopefully, it will inspire some maybe young women who are watching us to also start real estate, no matter, by the way, what you're doing right now. If you are really serious about this and you stay consistent and determined, you can do it.